test this. I think the mic is either rough or not. I'm going to hear how it sounds. Oh, that is awful. Alright. Gonna go ahead and pause this for a hot minute while I figure out why this mic is just sadness in the ears. Test, test, test. Oh, there we go. That's a lot better. Apparently I just have a really terrible microphone jack on my computer. Sorry about that. Paul was just telling me about some cool new VFX he's putting in for one of our characters, Annalenia. She is a kind of nightmare psionic witch. Alrighty, so I'm going to try a couple other things here real quick. I'm going to actually go over to the Twitch channel so I can see the chat. But I've got to mute that for myself because as we all hate our own voices, I also hate my own voice. Emily just showed up. She's looking very lovely today in her furry sweater, I think you'd call that. It's quite nice. Looks very soft, looks very warm. It's chilly here. It's gone back to winter here in Michigan. So anyway, we are, today I am doing a not silent developer stream just to show off the game assets that we've got for a new map called Overpass. Overpass is one that we had originally developed, a very long time ago, but we didn't have the time to put in what we needed to get it straightened out. And so it's going to be a capture the core map, but with a little bit of a spin on it. It's going to have NPCs that live underneath the overpass, that if you want to get the core, you're going to actually end up having to fight some NPCs as well as the enemy team. And I should probably not zoom around super fast because who knows how good the streaming latency is. We'll go ahead and give a little bit of a pull out here so you can see. You've got, it's kind of a blood gulch situation. You've got two bases on opposite ends of the battlefield. Yeah, I should be on streaming on all of them. I figured you can't have all of the glory, and the theater person in me was demanding to be on the global stage, so that way all of the Russian and Chinese and Korean and South American audiences that we may have can see my delightfulness and hear my dulcet tones. But at any rate, so like I was saying, this map is kind of like Halo's Blood Gulch situation. You've got two diametrically opposed bases where both teams will spawn in either at orange base or at green base in the middle of a city. Whoops. With these lovely skyscrapers towering over us. The teams will spawn in near their power reactor. This particular map is going to be a, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8v8 map. And we will have NPCs defending the base, as well as capturable turrets and some that are not capturable. We wanted to add a little bit more of a combat situation to this, where you're going to have to throw some strategy in as a team of where to attack, where to defend, where to occupy. One of the features that we recently added into the game is capturable objective points. In this particular map, you've got two kinds. You've got bunkers, which you'll notice that this particular turret is missing, I don't know, a static mesh. I'm sure Paul will help me figure out how to get that into the blueprint. I struggled with that one for a little bit. I couldn't make it line up, and it kept floating above the top of it. I'm sure he'll know how to fix it. He knows how to fix all this stuff. But anyway, so this is a capturable objective point where if you stand under it for 5 seconds, it becomes your team and will automatically start firing on any hostile targets. You have two ways up to the top of the overpass, and the energy core itself, the objective that you're going to pick up and run back to your base, is going to spawn randomly at the top of the overpass and underneath in the shanty town. We'll go back up top. So at the top of the overpass, you have another capturable objective point, which is a defensive turret. This one also will allow, once you've captured it, will just automatically shoot at enemy targets once they get within range. I'm going to pop open... What do you call it when you hit G? Is that just details, Paul, in Unreal? Like, what's the Unreal term for that, when you hit G to show all the wireframe nonsense?
That's just, there's game mode and not game mode, I think.
Alright, so we'll call it game mode. Say again?
Game view when you hit G.
Game view, yeah, there we go. So game view is going to actually, it shows off some more of this stuff for the...
Well, the game view shows off nothing.
Oh, my bad.
That's what you see in game.
So I'm hitting it the other way around. This is the more you know, kids. So anyway, when I go into, we'll call it developer view, because that's what I want to call it. It shows off these wireframes that we get to see and adjust on the back end that will show you where the turrets will actually fire to. So on this particular turret, oops, I clicked on a static mesh instead. Oh, is it in the camera? All right, so behind me, there is a banner that's halfway folded over. I will be fixing that today. We have a very hot forced air office that has dried out the adhesive that's keeping some of the banners up. And so, unfortunately, poor Kate is cut in half. And we've got, I think it happened to Nid and maybe Meyer and Dusk. So I didn't realize anybody would be able to see it. But mea culpa. So going back over to the engine, you'll see the wireframes for the capture distance. So if you're anywhere within this yellow wireframe, standing there within 5 seconds, your team will capture it. If there are, it's very similar to the battlefield capture style, to where if you have one person from your team and one person from the enemy team standing there, they cancel each other out, so no team will capture it. And it does have to go fully... if the other team has captured it first, you have to fully uncapture, and then it'll go gray, and then from there it goes back over to your team color. The more team members you have standing in that area, the faster it will capture. Now, 5 seconds, we originally had it at 20, but the flow of our game is so fast that it took a really long time. It just felt like you're standing there doing nothing. And we've noticed that teamwork has not really played through like we were hoping it would. So we wanted to kind of shift the play style a little bit more towards an individual player. You can feel like you're doing a lot more stuff. But you are rewarded if you do work as a team by capturing it even faster. That, of course, will come into play a little bit more to where if the other team has captured it, you're now looking at 15 seconds to get it back to yours. So there, if you have 2, 3, 4 people, you'll be able to do it a lot faster. The second, I'm going to pop over to details here of this. Let's see. I don't know if that's quite what I wanted. Oh, here we go. All right, so the second sphere, which is actually on the turret blueprint itself, is where the turret will fire to. So any hostile target that runs within this new bigger yellow sphere will be attacked automatically by the computer-controlled turrets. We have them on, we'll pop back into game view. We have them on opposite sides of the path all the way across, so both teams can have them. Being that I love it when things explode, and we had very positive responses to explodey stuff in game, I've got explodey barrels positioned at strategic points around the map, typically around the objective points, so that way you have an opportunity to help disrupt when the enemy is doing stuff, at least for the first occasion, or if you're a good shot on possibly multiple occasions, as there are multiple explodey things. Typically those do a very large chunk of damage. I don't believe that they could kill you outright with one hit unless you've taken damage, but typically if you've already seen some combat and somebody blows one up next to you, you're going to die. Opposite side you've got is exactly the same. You have the orange base. You have a heal pad behind here for after you've captured the core and you want to go back and heal. And then the bases themselves actually have defensive turrets that are not capturable, that are just going to defend the base against enemy team members. We wanted to give a little bit more of a base defense style feeling towards it, and so that's how we've accomplished it. You've got kind of the hostile zone between the shantytown and the player-controlled bases. The overpass itself has 2 ramps up. In the future, we're just going to assume that things can just slowly hover circle around here before they hover fly somewhere else. I realize it's not the most realistic feel for an on-ramp, but hey, the future, man. Technology is great. It's going to be autonomous driving cars anyway, so who cares if you don't like driving around a curve. We're going to show off a little bit more of the assets here. A lot of these, I don't know specifically who did which buildings, but some really great, fun, pretty work done by our environment and props team. That was Matt Grachok and Dylan Somerville. Seth Nykamp helped out there a lot too. Andrew Mathiasen, Joe Grabowski, really fun props and assets. They did a lovely job. Josh Powers contributed a ton to this as well, so great work, guys. I did quite a bit of the lighting myself. There's a few spots I say I want to touch up a little bit, just going through again. Lighting is kind of a finicky beast because you'll always notice, oh, I like this or I don't like this. I almost feel like I suffer from a little bit of artist syndrome because it seemed like they never thought anything was ever done or ever good enough. But I guess that's fairly common for artists. And when I go through and look at the lighting, I'm like, oh, I could do this better now. I could redo this. So, you know, fun times. All right, so back to the game design on this particular map. So if you're not going up top to steal that capturable core, then you're going to be going through the shantytown. In the shantytown, you have several points of ingress egress. You can go around the sides. You can go anywhere through the middle. You can go straight up down the central path, or again the opposite side. Now, in the shantytown, there's 3 main sections. You've got the forward respawn pad, where once, and this is a capturable objective, once you capture this, your team will be able to randomly respawn in the forward position. In the middle, there are a troop of NPCs, and you can't see them right now because I have them turned off. Pretty sure it is that level. And these NPCs are going to be hanging out here, and I've got to actually touch up lighting. It's a fair bit darker in here than I had originally wanted. These NPCs are going to patrol throughout the middle as well as the sides. And then on the very opposite end, you have a forward heal pad. Again, these controllable objective points, any team can stand under it and use it. And from there, the core itself will spawn anywhere underneath here or up top, so it would be of a huge benefit to actually control these forward objective points. You got some specs hanging out, in the shantytown, donuts and guns. I mean, why wouldn't you buy those things together? Right next to a bar, nothing could go wrong there. 2 boars and a goat. For anybody that has not necessarily seen or heard, so the game is called, or pronounced, Tuebor. It's Latin. It means I will defend. I thought it worked really neat for this particular game because we have a lot of, the majority of the game is you defending a position or attacking a position that the other team is defending. So it worked really well. It's a unique sounding name. It's not something any other game has been called. However, nobody speaks Latin these days. Wah wah. And what we've discovered is a lot of people mispronouncing the name, and as well as developers and pretty much anybody that we've talked to that hadn't heard about it before. And Tuebors is one of the ways that we oftentimes kind of make fun of our own name. So you'll see 2 boars in there. You'll see a 2-headed boar backpack that gives you stats for the character. You'll see different graffiti down here. A lot of people also mispronounce it as tuber, which is a root vegetable. I believe one of the families of potato. So this is Shantytown down here. Some really pretty effects and lighting. Josh set a lot of the stuff up with the neon. Looks really great. I've mainly put the props in here, rearranged a little bit in order to stop players from being able to shoot straight through to the other side. And because we found that given that the range is 40 yards, max range is 40 yards for pretty much everything, it became very easy to aggro NPCs accidentally or just unfairly shoot through to the other team. So that is kind of the overpass overview. We'd like to try and we had to get a couple of engineering things done for it first before we got it into production. And basically what I'm going to be working on today is making sure that the enemy NPCs patrol through the shantytown like they're supposed to. Give it a, and then we can throw it up under our test servers so that way we can test it out. It's got a nice bleak cyberpunky feel to it. You've got the neon dystopia. The lovely holograms everywhere. Some shields, some cool skulls. The basis of why the shantytown is here and inside the middle of this city is set up through some of our story, which you can find on our website, www.tueborgame.com, and go to the comics section. You'll read through one of our artists, our guest artist, Camille Kochanski, did a lovely, or no, I'm sorry, this was actually, Carrie Smith did the comic that gets us to the overpass, and that explains what's going on, why the players are here, and why the NPCs are kind of hanging around in the bottom there. So from here on out, I don't really have terribly much exciting to say. Oh, I'm getting flagged down by Emily.
Your camera stopped working. You're frozen.
Which one are you watching on?
Facebook and Twitch.
Is the audio still working?
Well, now that you're here. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that thing that it's frozen on is delightful. Let me see if I can start it and stop it again. Yep, that is exactly what I was hoping for in the camera. I may have to pick up another camera, as this one is a little bit of an older model. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. You don't necessarily need to see my delightful mug. Yeah, I was just seeing if it would like reset if I edited it again. But so for, yeah, it should be gone now. Well, that's fine. We have tons and tons and tons of webcams around here. This was just one that I had that I don't know, gotten fond of. It's technology that I had grown to like, and apparently it's time to throw that technology out. But Thanks for pointing out, Boys Zazel. I did not have my stream up, so I wasn't seeing myself. Yeah. Wait, it doesn't say Silent Dev Stream anymore, does it? Oh, it probably does in the title. Yeah. I actually took the silent part out.
And no, I changed it.
No, I mean in the, oh, I thought I'd taken the silent part out in XSplit for the streaming software, but not a worry at all. Oh boy, Azazel. Yeah, I have the delightful face and the dulcet tones. So anyway, I'm going to be playing around with a little bit of lighting and a little bit of the scripting, or rather the patrol points for the NPCs for a little while. It will end up being a silent dev stream for that, and without camera, because as much as I'm sure you'd love to watch me make faces at my computer screen, I can't imagine the entertainment value is super high for that. Don't forget to tune in around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time. I'm not really sure if we're EST, EDT. I have no idea what the UTC is for here. What are we, +5, +7? Anyone? I figure Paul might know that kind of stuff because he seems to know everything. What's our UTC time here? Well, for any of our stalwart fans who would like to look it up for us. Yeah, Google. I've never... well, Paul knows everything. I just assume he'd know that. He's got a wealth of knowledge tucked away in that gray goo of his. So at any rate, I'm going to kill my mic, and I'm going to just be doing a silent dev stream from here out.
He is 5 hours ahead.
5 hours ahead. We just got that. Unless you're a cretin like me. Did I miss something? Is AI a cretin? I thought he was, like, super smart as well.
Yes.
Why would I know?
I don't know. Maybe, isn't that one of those things people know? UTC?
Maybe if you're in somewhere with lots of more, lots extra time zones.
I suppose. But, so from here on out, going to go silent. If anything super exciting pops into my head, I might turn the mic back on. But otherwise, don't forget to chime in for, or tune in for Emily at 2 p.m., 7 p.m. UTC. And say again, Emily?
See my fuzzy vest then.
Oh, yeah, you'll get to see her fuzzy vest. It looks like she has recently murdered some kind of very soft chinchilla and strapped it to her body. So, good times. Good times. Thanks for tuning in. Keep watching if you'd like. You get to see me click buttons and move stuff around. Unreal had a really great lighting tutorial yesterday, and it was very enlightening. Ha 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 ha. Oh, I wish the webcam would have been on. I had a great face for that. Kill those chinchillas. Dead by Daylight, Dead by Daylight. Oh, boy, Azazel wants Emily playing Dead by Daylight. We'll have to see if anybody has that in our Steam library. I know I don't. Or I don't think I do. But we do love watching Emily get jump scares. We may even break back out the Nerf darts, just as long as we don't aim it at her face. Ooh, man, AI seems to really hate chinchillas. So, without further ado, I'm going to kill the mic, and we're going to go silent dev from here on out. I will talk to you guys soon.